Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 55 of Weird Mind News, where this week we'll be delving into discussions of the week, talking all the new releases, the trailers of the week, and some of the news stories have come my way in appearance. So let's not waste too much time. Let's get to talking about all the media content that came out from this week.
All hail the Watcher?
Yeah, all hail the Watcher.
Starting off this week with the question of, what are you going to do when they come for you? As after 4 years, some delays, and even a slap heard around the world, the two detectives are back with the fourth entry in the Bad Boys franchise with Ride or Die. This new entry will see Mike and Marcus having to team up once again to go undercover and soon on the run to clear the name of their late captain, who has been posthumously linked to drug cartels while also clearing their own name in the process. Reception for this film, like the previous entry, has been received well, with praise for the main leads of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and providing some energy and life in this series still to this day, even when some of the plot aspects may make it a little muddled or a bit generic. But if you want some entertaining action, then you can catch this new film out now in cinemas. Next on the release is a film that for some reason had a sudden name change when I'm from that, which makes it very confusing given the concept and all the marketing saying otherwise, even in the clips that they use with the name change. And for the benefit, I'm keeping it to the normal name as it makes more sense, as the daughter of the director known as the Twist Endings has made her film debut with Aishana Night Shyamalan's new horror thriller of The Watchers, not The Watched. Thank you very much. The film will follow Mina, a young woman from Galway who's assigned a job to deliver a pet bird to a client in Belfast, but in the process ends up lost in the dense forests of Ireland. Soon she finds herself trapped in a concrete container with 3 other strangers who are there to be observed by strange creatures lurking in the woods at night, and will soon lead to figuring out what they are and how they can escape. Now, reception on this new film has not been well received, and the mixed to low category, as the concept, atmosphere and tension as well as the cast has been praised, but can get convoluted in twist upon twist, and its mythology aspects in the second half that drag it down. Also, small nitpick in the case, since this is just an off-topic film here, but I don't understand the case when, a film that's filmed in Ireland has its like premiere and big turnout thing in the UK. Why not just do it here? That's just my own interpretation. Make more sense to do it here. If you have the bustling forest here, don't do it in the UK. Do it here. Anyway, rant over. If you want to find out why you should avoid the deep forest, and you can catch this new film out now in cinemas. The last of the new films for this week will be taking a form of some presumably being a killer, but it's hard to see if it's true. It also comes to the list where you say the title of this film and think of, you're talking about the popular game series or the adaptation of said game series, as we are talking on the new film of Hitman. This new film follows a part-time New Orleans police officer who poses undercover as a reliable hitman who always arrests those that hire him. This soon becomes a case when he is hired by a woman to kill her abusive husband, and soon finds himself becoming infatuated with her while dealing with all sorts of other issues. While the plot for this may not be the most engaging, reception of this film has been universally praised for the dark tone and balance, with great laughs and the performance of Glenn Powell in the lead role. If you want to catch this new film, then now you can catch this out now on Netflix. Heading over to television, we are heading to a galaxy far, far away once again, and going over a century before the events of the 9-film saga as we explore the age of the Jedi with the new series of Star Wars The Acolyte. The series is set a century before the events of Phantom Menace and during the High Republic era, and will follow a respected Jedi Master investigating a series of crimes that brings him into contact with a former Padawan learner and reveals sinister forces. Reception for this series from critics so far has been well received for its setting, cast, and action scenes. Though, like most projects in the saga lately, and let's face it, most fandoms, the audience reception has been hit with review bombs. Even hours before the series even premiered, they haven't even seen it and they were already review bombing it, saying the series has gone woke, or because it was created by a woman, or the female characters could be Mary Sue's or something, or too diverse, or whatever else they want to say about any series at this point. And I think some may be jumping to conclusions too quickly. But if you want to catch this new space adventure, you can watch the first 2 episodes now on Disney Plus, with a new episode out every Wednesday. And the final new release is with a new expansion to the growing saga that will be celebrating its 10th anniversary this year and bring the end of the first saga of the games, as we have the new expansion for Destiny 2 with The Final Shape. This new expansion will see your guardians seeking out the major franchise villain of The Witness after their escape at the end of Lightfall, and stop them from creating the titular Final Shape that could cause the full destruction of all life in the universe and end the war between light and darkness. Reception for the expansion has been decently received from a few small reviews I've seen so far, of all the ambition and build over the years, presenting itself well in its concluding chapter. And if you want to check it out for yourself, you can play it on PC, PS4 and 5, and Xbox One, Series X and S. Of all that, that's all the new releases that we have for this week.
Aliens! nothing but aliens.
So starting off trailers for the week is returning to the universe of characters, or a gallery of characters that the main character is not a part of, that we know of at the moment, as we return to the popular buddy duo that is a bit of a rom-com approach of a man and symbiote, as we receive the first trailer for the concluding film in the trilogy of Venom: The Last Dance. The plot, from what I can gather from the vagueness of the interwebs, is that the film will see Eddie Brock and Venom become fugitives who are on the run from the law after the end of the last movie, as well as having to deal with the threat of the impending invasion of Venom's homeworld coming after them as well. The series is one that I feel, even in the mixed array of the Sony Spider-Man films, I do say that I enjoy the Venom films for just being that bit of entertaining fix I need. And for a look at the trailer for this, it so far does not look that bad. From some set pieces, visuals don't look that awful, and the concept of the symbiote horse looked pretty cool. That shit was rad. There is also one or two questions I have, where there is one scene involving an actor that played Mordo in Doctor Strange is here, and also the case of reading the actor that plays the lizard. I read somewhere that Reza Fons is in this one as well, so whether or not that's going to tie in, as well as the case of No Way Home or something, I have no idea. I'm wondering if this will be part of the MCU, or Andrew's Peter Parker is going to appear at some point, because I've heard rumors that supposedly even the Topher Grace's Venom is going to be here. I don't know. But I guess we'll have to find out more by the time this film releases in the cinemas on October 25th. And speaking of alien species, we are heading into the deep, vast regions of space, where no one will hear you. As we return to the series, there has been a mixed array of opinion with the newest film of Alien Romulus. This new film will be set between the original and sequel to Alien, as it will follow a group of young space colonists who, while scavenging a rural space station, come face to face with the most terrifying life form in space. So it's been seen that the Alien series has had a mixed array of opinion, with the last well-liked film being Aliens back in the 1980s, the following two being mixed, Prometheus being anticipated but coming out underwhelming to many, and the same can be said about Covenant, that got bogged down in concepts that fell apart. The only Alien piece that most see as a proper successor so far, besides maybe IGN, that I blame for the poor sales of, is the Alien Isolation game from 2014. And now what I've gotten from this film is that it feels like this could be Sevastopol. This could be a side story to the Alien Isolation game, or beforehand, and would be intriguing to see if that is. And if it is, I'm all excited for it. It's real to be true, but we'll have to see when this film floats in the cinemas on August 16th. The next trailer is giving us one more new look at the concluding part of a trilogy of horror trailers that has seen mass appeal, as we received the new trailer for the X trilogy concluder of Maxxxine. This is following the life of Maxxxine, who after escaping from a deadly massacre in Texas, will see her move to the Golden Coast of LA to become a massive star in any way she can, mostly starting with adult films. But evil is never far away, as she must make it through the industry while also protecting herself against the grisly killings of the Night Stalker during the 1980s. Now I can say the mass appeal of how well made, well conceived, and how fucked up the series is so far has been, I've been sure this one will hopefully also be met with great praise. But I'm sure we will find out real soon, as released in the cinemas in just under a month's time on July 5th. Now it might seem crazy what I'm about to say for this final trailer for the week, as we are about to get an all-new biographical film for an artist that has been present in the industry for years, telling their story but being told in a unique way, with it being on show in the trailer for the new film of Piece by Piece. This film will be following the life of famous musician and producer of Pharrell Williams, as he tells his story of feeling seen as weird and odd as a child and finding his creativity and world change through the power of music. Now you're probably wondering what's so different, and as you can probably see by the trailer, is that this film is all being done in Legos. So technically this film counts as one of those Lego films, and I for one think it looks interesting and something I will be checking out, because, you know, both biographical films I've been all feeling similar, so a biographical film done in Lego seems interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting to check this film out when the film builds its way into cinemas on November 15th. Of all that, that's all the new trailers that we have for this week.
Pluck my life.
So most of the stories initially for this week were about video games, before a few other rumors and discussions made their way into the mix. So I decided for the mixed appeal of the first story will be to lump some announcements relating to the world of game announcements of different media formats. So first of the announcements was what I initially planned to include in the last episode with the following news story, but felt it was best to delay for another week. But this first bit was a brief teaser announcement of the unveiling of a new animated series based on Minecraft. It's unclear if this will be connected to the story mode series or even the upcoming film coming out next year with Jack Black and Jason Momoa, but we'll just have to see how much it comes along when the series eventually premieres onto Netflix sometime soon. Next in the announcements is the confirmation that has slingshot its way onto the internet just at the end of this week, as it was announced by Sega, Sony, and Rovio that they will be getting a third Angry Birds movie on the way, and has so far confirmed that Red and Chuck's original voice actors of Jason Sudeikis and Josh Gad have been confirmed returning to this film. Not sure what the plot of this one will be about, and if the pigs and Leonard will be enemies in this, or if any other cast are coming back, but I'm sure we will learn more about this film as production gets well underway soon, and hopefully it will be as enjoyable as the first two movies anyway. I enjoyed them. Next in the announcements was a surprise drop reveal that we'll be receiving a new series based on the popular video game series of Yakuza coming out this October, with the first half coming out on October 24th and the second batch that week later on, I believe, the 31st or the 1st of November. Now, I have not much knowledge in this series, but I'm sure it will be worth a look into when the time comes this fall. Also confirmed for release this fall is the confirmation release date for the new animated inspired Tomb Raider series, getting a confirmed release date, which will be dropping on the 10th of October onto Netflix, and also confirmed that it will be starring Hayley Atwell as the voice of Lara Croft, with this series being set after the events of the recent reboot trilogy, so it'll be after 2013's Tomb Raider, Shadow, and Rise of the Tomb Raiders. I'll need to get back to actually finish those last two games at some point in the series before I jump into this new series come this October. And the final bit of news in terms of updates will relate to the new season of The Last of Us. As well, season 2 is on the way currently, with production well underway and the new season dropping the new year. It's been confirmed that the second season will be shorter than season 1 by 2 episodes, with the new season confirmed to only having 7 episodes for the season. But there is a caveat that some of these episodes will actually be much longer in length. This is not ruled that the follow-up will be same as likely with this series, is that season 2 will probably follow Ellie's story from part 2. Season 3 will follow Abby's story and maybe the epilogue, and if there's been talked about a rumored 4th season, we might see probably either the epilogue or the start of the plot for Resume Part 3, as Naughty Dog is going to tease they are going to get a third game coming out with that. But I guess we'll have to learn as production this show continues and the next season drops onto our screens. But what are your own thoughts on all these announcements and updates, and is there any in particular you're looking forward to in particular much? Let me know what you think of all of them down below. As for the other story from last week that I didn't have time to fit into, we are continuing with the second video game based story of this week, and this is with talking on the popular horror series of Resident Evil. Now, many were left surprised by the lack of an announcement last week to a new entry in the series at last week's State of Play, but I'm sure we may hear something about two different aspects of one on return to the past and looking to the future, but then some possible discussions for the next entry in this series. Starting off on the ones of the past, it's no secret the series has been seeing a slew of remakes and remasters in the series, mainly in their numbered title games, with the most recent being the beloved RE4 last year, and many had wondered what may be the next game in the series to get that 4K upgrade. There's been a discussion about some getting new remakes, but there's been two that have basically garnered a lot more discussion as of late, and this seems to be a possible massive requested title and an often overlooked game getting the chance of a current speculation that there is a planned remake in the works for both Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Code Veronica. The Code Veronica 1 has been a highly requested remake for years, as there not been seen any form of remaster or remake. They've only ever released the game back when it came out on the PS2 Xbox era, so the likes of a massive upgrade remake of a beloved game in the series seems like a no-brainer with that one. As for Zero, I do know there was a HD remaster about a year after the HD remaster of Resident Evil 1 back in 2016, but I think it's fine to remake that one, as it's often overlooked in the series as well, and released after the original trilogy came out, and given a case instance there's been other rumblings, I can definitely see this one working for a remake. However, this is not the only remakes that have been discussed, but many have been debunked of happening. This is with a full remake to the original game and the next numbered game in the series with Resident Evil 5. As the likes of 1's remake may be planned for a 3rd anniversary release, but that one is unknown and might be a little necessary. And as for 5, it may have more trouble in the basis of the discussion on its possible racial concerns that popped up back even when the game first came out 15 years ago, but I'm sure there'll be some form of remake down the line, but we'll have to wait and see for them. But as on the side of the newer entries, it has been a little over 3 years since the release of Village, and many have wondered when we'll hear any word on the next title of RE9 in particular, that question may have allegedly been answered by a possible leak. Sometime last week, around the release of the State of Play, a game shop website of Game Asia uploaded a possible placeholder cover for a 9th Resident Evil game with some elements of some rumored aspects in the last few weeks being mentioned on the site, including elements of it being on an island town similar to the likes of RE4, more based in Japan or Korea. It's a planned open world game and has a rumored release date of 2025. I think initially it was like early 2025, but that's unknown yet. But this is when it starts to get a little overboard. Some other elements it talks about is that it will be titled Revenant Shadows and will also include the cast of characters such as Leon Kennedy, Chris and Jill, Claire, Carlos, and possibly many more from the series past, as well as some new characters. The only character not confirmed is with Rose Winters. Unless the Shadow of Rose DLC kind of concludes, no, I have no idea. The concern about it comes to the basis that this could end up being a Resident Evil 6 situation all over again, where this is too many storylines happening at once, becomes too convoluted, and can make the game feel overstuffed and lacking at the same time. Now, nothing has been confirmed as of yet with the title of any of the remakes as of yet, but if there's any word in the upcoming weeks about any of these possible projects from the remakes of the sequel, I'll update when the time comes. But what are your own thoughts on anything that was discussed with the series? Would you be up for playing any of these remakes, and do you think any points of the new entry are true? Let me know what your opinions are of them down below. The next story is taking us into the realm of television and on the side of animated TV, in that instance as we are talking about the discussion of a revival that I have some mixed opinions about. So for many, there has been a lot of excellent stories and tales woven from the world of animation over the last few years in TV side of things, and one of them that I absolutely adore was a series from the Disney Channel era of like the early 2010s known as Gravity Falls, a series about two siblings being sent to a mysterious town in Oregon, just north of normal and west of weird, where they basically have to stay with their con man uncle who runs a tourist attraction known as the Mystery Shack. And soon these two kids, their Uncle Stan, repairman Seuss, and worker Wendy, discover some of the strange and wacky things throughout the town and the secrets hidden within. The series was engaging from the interesting story, colorful concepts, and settings of the newest episode, and even some kind of scares. Like, there's a lot of really kind of decrepit imagery in this shit. It was really interesting that the likable characters are present across its 2 seasons, with the series literally ending with them stopping what was labeled as Weirdmageddon or the Odd Apocalypse. The series creator of Alex Hirsch created this from some inspiration of his childhood, and some of the concept series can be seen with another series that he worked on with someone else from the show, and that was with Inside Job, a series that has got wrongfully cancelled so quick even when a second season was confirmed by Netflix. I'm still salty about it, and I hope that Adult Swim or something will revive this series. As delved back into the series, the release of the Logbook Journal number 3, yes I do have it, as well as the Book of Bill coming out sometime this summer. But it seems they may not be the only return to this franchise, as according to Disney television executive Meredith Lynn or something I believe, it seems to be the case that they may be in constant talks with Alex about the new book, the Book of Bill, as well as some shorts in the works, but they may have not confirmed nor denied a possible revival series of the show. Now, while I can agree returning to this world would be really interesting, I would not have much of an issue with it, there is the concern that it could be a bit of a mess in terms of coming back when it was unneeded or goes on too long, when I feel that the show kind of wrapped up perfectly in two seasons. I feel the case of going on too long, an example that I see a lot, and in some degree I can agree with, is with the elements of the series that was released around the same time of Star versus the Forces of Evil, where most people believe that it should have ended with the end of the 2-part premiere special of season 3, as some see elements of the 3rd season, and especially the final season, a bit of a mess in terms of its narrative and choices. But I can give good faith with Alex Hirsch, as he has made some great content in the past, and maybe they could work on somehow to make it the series canon with Inside Job, so we can get a bit of a continuation for that series. But I guess we'll have to see what comes from this when the time comes, and if any updates happen for revival. But what are your own opinions on this? Would you be interested in a possible continuation for Gravity Falls, or do you see it as being too good of a need of a revival? Let me know what you think of all this down below, and let's discuss what you think this series could follow up. The last story for this week is with the announcement of a simple name change and the announcement of a new edition in a series and an adaptation of said new editions, and we'll get to that right now. Firstly, if you remember a few years ago, that follow-up to the beloved series of novels about people from districts being chosen to fight to the death for spectacle was a release that followed the story of a young dictator, of how he would become that character over time that basically led the spectacle stuff and led to a revolution across 4 books. And this of course was with the addition of the novel of the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Now, it did release in 2020, and then a film adaptation came out just last year, and it had a bit of a mixed appeal and a somewhat okay box office, but compared to, the other ones, it is the weakest in the series in terms of earnings and as well as reception. But it seemed to have been a success for fans, and looks like the momentum of the series is not ending there, as there is now plans for another book for the series, and it was announced we're getting a new entry in the form of Sunrise on the Reaping, and will follow the story of the character of Haymitch on the year he won the Hunger Games, which I believe is the 50th annual Hunger Games. It was not the only announcement, as it was also announced that we are getting a film adaptation a year after the book comes out, which I think is releasing early next year, with the film planned for release in November 2026. So truth be told, I have not seen or read any of these books, but I'm sure I may give a look at them at due time, but I'm sure it'll be worth a look into over time. And the second aspect of this story is that for some of you may or may not know, and some that may see as a surprise to you, but we are actually getting a second full-length movie based on Wallace and Gromit, and it's coming out this year. As you can see from this little teaser, this title was announced at the same time as the sequel to last year's Chicken Run sequel, which I will get to reviewing some point soon, that was initially titled No Malone, and is now going off the title of Vengeance Most Foul. Not much has been shared so far besides some brief first look images and a small teaser in the Netflix animation roundup trailer, as well as a small promo unveiling the return of a face from a long time ago. Yes, the main antagonist of the Oscar-winning short of Wrong Trousers of Feathers McGraw, or the Penguin, is back for a third time. I said third given the case that if you count the obscure Project Zoo game from the year 2000s, as well as the brief Easter egg cameo at the end of Dawn of the Nugget, albeit the one causing some trouble for the cheese-loving inventor and his faithful canine companion. Not much else has been shown, but it has been confirmed for release this year, with it releasing on Christmas here on the BBC in the UK and Ireland, and internationally this winter on Netflix. And I, for one, and I'm very excited to check out this new film. But I would like to hear your own thoughts and opinions about all the other entries. Are you excited for a new entry in the Hunger Games series? And if you are also excited for a second Wallace and Gromit film, let me know your opinions down below and let's discuss them there. And with all that, that's all the news that we have for this week.
I'm tired, Alfred.
And with all of that, that ends episode 55 of Weird Mind Newsroom. I hope you all enjoyed listening to my ramblings. First of all, you might know this case, I apologize, I look a bit disheveled and stuff. I've just been really going through it this week. Just, mentally, physically breaking down, crying, just it's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into the details on it, that's, on personal stuff. Anyways, a few little updates. Reviews, I'm going to get back into it, just this week took a toll on a lot of stuff, so a lot of reviews, rewatch-a-thon, gameplays and stuff like that, all of them kind of took a back seat kind of stuff. But I will get into this eventually. I'm trying to figure out which ones to do reviews on. I'm going to do some short ones, maybe for like Cocaine Bear, Back to Black, a few other ones. There might be a few other things. I'm going to get Smiling Friends and a few minimized reviews, as well as do a long form video when the 2 seasons come out and combine them. I will probably do a full review as well for Hell of a Boss, but I'm going to wait till season 2 drops for that and maybe do a 2-part video on that. Other ones I'm going to do, I'm going to get some animated ones done and get some live action ones done. There's an image, I think you might see if you see my TikTok, you might know there's going to be a review for one piece that was hanging up right here on my wall. It was not Argyle, that was already out. Gameplay wise, there is another 2 parts out for Hogwarts Legacy, part 2 and 3, that you can check out down below on my channel in the playlist or just on the annotations above. I will be getting to more recordings on it. I might have fixed my controller. I think it's a bit of a case with the stick drift. And also in those videos there is links to voting on what games I should play on my Switch, Xbox, and what to play on the PlayStation after this game anyway. I might play something in particular, but I'm not sure. Rewatch-a-thon will come along as well. The long form audience choice piece, that's also in the works as well. I'm going to get back onto working on that. And yeah, that's basically when we'll leave the episode for now. So if you enjoyed my content and want to see more from me very quickly, more frequently from me as well, then why not like the video and subscribe, as I upload every week and I want to plan to upload a few more when I can. I work around in case if I get some work, in a job wise, that I can at least work around a schedule for stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on everything that was discussed this week as well, opinions on new releases, the trailers and all the news stories as well. I want to have a discussion with everyone. I'm open for conversation with anyone. Probably a case instance as well, I'm probably going to get back to more recordings and stuff. I might look at some other concepts I had in mind, try and start them. And maybe some other bits ideas. I've been considering a bit streaming eventually, but I want to get your opinions and stuff as well. Let me know down below or on my socials. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. So thank you all for watching. As always, you all stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people. Have a great day every day. And, keep being you, because no one else can do what you do. And, take care of yourself, because it could be tough in this time in life. But anyways, I'm gonna go kind of take care of myself now. And thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. So take care, everyone, and goodbye.